What's up guys, it's Sam the Raid Man. I got a comment on a recent video. They said more HYDRA content, so that's exactly what we're going through today. A few months, but not even a few months, probably a few weeks back, maybe a month ago, I pulled a champion that I've wanted for a long time for my HYDRA team, and I'm very excited to test him out today. It is Nekmo Thaar. We've just got him finished his masteries, just got him built. He's not even level 60, but we got a 1-star brimstone on him, I guess. Let me go through his kit, who he's replacing, we'll go over the team, and then we'll go into the run. So Nekmo, AoE A1, which is nice. We'll get into why later. Decrease attack. Chance increases to 75% if the target has debuffs, which most of the heads will have a debuff, so that 75% chance of decreased attack on the A1. AoE, very good. Let's go A3 next. Speed weirding. Places 30% increased speed on all allies, and then fills their turn meter by 30%, then grants his champion an extra turn. So that's a very nice increased speed move. AoE, decreased speed, and leech. Now leech is interesting because it'll help us heal, but also will help destroy our HP, so that's kind of neither here nor there. But the passive is super good. So you'll A3, increase speed on everyone, turn meter fill, extra turn, decrease speed and leech on the enemies, and that's on a 3-turn cooldown. So fills the champion's turn meter by 5% each time a debuff on an enemy is removed, transferred, or expires. So that will be very big in terms of just keeping turn meter going, because he places decreased attack, decreased speed, and leech. And then we've also got him in a curse set, so he's also going to place Hex. So that is a lot of chances for extra turn meter. Make sure to click the link in the description below to get a free legendary Bambus 4-leaf legendary champion from the Skinwalkers faction, as well as the free epic Thaar from the Orc faction, who is a great epic. I got 4 steps for you to make sure you get this link code working correctly. Step 1, log out of Player and Play on your PC and uninstall it. If you've never had Raid connected to your phone before, it should work there as well. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Very important that it's a brand new email. Step 3, launch Raid, complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to your inbox and claim Bambus 4-leaf. You should get Thaar at level 15. Go ahead and use this link if you want to start a new account, or if you're starting Raid for the first time. This is a great way to get kick-started. You also get a 19% speed aura, which is very helpful. Particularly for this team, we don't need it because we have Cardiel, but in general, that's a very nice speed aura. 1-star Brimstone because he's built with accuracy. Masteries just down to War Master with some accuracy masteries. Sets, 4-piece Cursed for the Hex, 2-piece Perception, 2-piece Feral for the accuracy and the speed. 276 speed is not crazy, pretty survivable, at least high defense. Some attack, some crit rate, some crit damage, 350 accuracy. So nothing crazy, but I think it'll be a solid build. The War Master is going to do most of his damage, but because he does hit so many AoEs, I like having some crit on him. He will have a crit rate buff a lot of the time too. So this will be our Nightmare team, as good as it gets. This right here is our team, but we're just going to be taking Eastrid out and putting Nekmo in. So it's the same speed aura as Cardiel, but Eastrid does a lot of the same stuff. Increase speed on yourself, decrease speed on the enemy. She does weaken on the enemy, so we're losing that. So that's one thing to monitor. Ninja and Alaz and everyone will hit less hard because we don't have weaken, but we will have a better source of decreased attack. Actually, it's our only source of decreased attack. Yes, our only source of decreased attack, so that should help us stay alive, especially against like Head of Wrath, because we don't have a reviver on the team. The next biggest thing that you will see, I'm going to go ahead and start the run, is Eastrid's A1 is single target, and she was our Hex placer. So she had a very difficult time placing Hex on the Head of Mischief, because she doesn't have an AoE on her A1, so she couldn't hit this head. It would keep getting redirected over and over again. So her A3, the AoE, or the A2, whichever the AoE is, was her best chance at actually getting that Hex, versus Nekmo, every time he's doing this, he's hitting with an AoE on his A1, so there's better chances at placing that Hex. That being said, obviously hasn't placed it yet, but there we go. That was, you know, a small chance that she would have actually hit that head, and then she would have to hit that head and actually place the Hex. So that's a big boon, I think. I think our Hex placement should go up a lot. Every now and then, in previous runs with Eastrid, Head of Mischief would devour somebody. We didn't have Hex out, and Eastrid just could not place it, so we would lose the run, we'd lose a person. So hopefully this should give us a little bit more reliability, potentially some more auto viability. Initially, when I was making this video, I thought, okay, why don't we... Also, you can see we have decreased attack out there, which is big. That nuke basically did nothing to us with all of our buffs. Same thing with that one, just doesn't really do much, and then Cardio heals us back up. Anyways, I potentially thought about, okay, let's run my team with Eastrid on auto, see what it does, and then my team with Nekmo on auto and see what it does. I'm confident the team with Nekmo will do better because I think he'll do the same damage, but probably slightly better because of the AoEs, but also because the only reason I didn't do that is because it's just so unreliable. It's so hard to tell what's going to happen when you're running full auto against Hydra. My team is not very auto friendly. I've never had much good luck trying to run teams against auto. Mikage and Ninja are kind of a little bit strange when it comes to auto and targeting people. You know, they'll just be hitting weak affinity heads over and over again, which is frustrating. So I do manual these, and the plan is to manual this, see what high score we can get. I don't have like a high score at the top of my head. I know I've hit 1 billion prior to the nerf, so I don't know what I'm going to expect to hit after that. Normally I would say my team does about 200 million, and then I kind of just put it on auto and let it go. I try and get it to that 200 million, but it, you know, a lot of it fluctuates depending on affinity and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take myself off so I can focus on this. I have a very difficult time talking to you and focusing on HYDRA without doing something stupid that will end my run. So I'm gonna go ahead and just focus on manualing this. We'll come back when one or two people die, and we're predicting the end is coming soon. But I'm pretty confident we should see some pretty good numbers here. I think Nekmo is a great fit for this team. Okay, so we've had a few things go wrong, but a lot of things go right, and this team is crushing it. This is definitely the best key I've done since the HYDRA. I don't even know what you call it. Nerf buff? You buffed the HYDRA, you nerfed us against the HYDRA, so I guess it's kind of both. I guess it's a HYDRA buff, because the HYDRA was the one that was buffed. Anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent yet again. This team is going great. I will say there are multiple times where we have survived because Nekmo has placed decreased attack on the Head of Wrath. Right now, the Head of Wrath is kind of a problem, but we have decreased attack up, so I'm much more confident that we can survive. Things like this. Also, the block damage from Alas is big, otherwise the reflect damage would kill us here. We're running out of our turn counts. We're probably going to hit the full turn count limit, which is exciting. I don't remember the last time I've done that. Ninja's going crazy. Alas is doing big things. The things are just going well. We've had a few things go wrong with, like, Alas was, provoking, and then he got swallowed, and then we freed him, but not in time to get the provoke back up, so he got cleansed, and then we got poison cloud out. You know how HYDRA is, where one thing goes wrong, then another, and it kind of just like waterfalls, trickles down. We still don't have a great answer for the Head of Torment. I wish there was like Feral does the perfect veil, but he just doesn't do it super consistently, and that's our biggest issue on this team. It's just on too long of a cooldown. One thing on Nekmo's skill set or masteries that I don't think I checked is lasting gifts to increase the duration of his increased speed buffs, which would be pretty helpful because it goes on for 2 turns for everybody, and a chance of it going on for 3 turns for some people could be big because it does run out, especially if Mikage does not extend it at the right time. So that's one thing that could be improved. Besides that, I feel like Feral did very well. Ninja's obviously going to be the MVP, but Mikage did well. I think this is going to be a really, really solid score. Head of Wrath just keeps coming around. Feels like the Head of Wrath and the Head of Torment are here. I will say the biggest thing we talked about before the run with Nekmo was the AoE on the A1, making it so big to keep Hex up on the Head of Torment. And I will say the Head of Torment not only wasn't an issue, I would say it almost felt like a blessing because we killed it so fast, and all it does is free damage and then decrease the turn meter of all the other heads, which kind of just gives you a second to take a breath, let some skills get back on cooldown, and just do a ton of damage. And so realistically, we love the Head of Torment with this team. He just kept Hex up all the time, especially because we have 2 ally attackers, Cardiel and Mikage. So those are AoEs on the A1 to chances to place decrease attack, chances to place Hex. And then we also have counter attack with Alas, meaning if he ever is hit by an AoE, he's going to counter attack with more chances at decrease attack and Hex. So we really kept those debuffs up very, very well. Obviously, he is Spirit Affinity, so like hypothetically, he can have, bad affinity issues. If someone's Magic Affinity, then they might not be able to get the decreased speed or the leech up, but realistically, that just was not a major concern. It does look like we don't have a provoke back because I wasted it on the Head of Wrath to use for the block damage part. And so we're going to get cleansed in a second, but that's okay. The turn count's almost over anyway, so it's not going to affect our damage massively. There's the cleanse, which is always a little unfortunate. Also, Nekmo, the same thing with Istrid, but they run out of their own veil, which is an issue because they get that extra turn. So, we place them under veil, perfect veil, they take an extra turn, and the perfect veil just runs out. So he gets feared a lot. That's a issue, but again, that's just such a small issue. I do think his damage, I'm not 100% sure what number it'll be. I do think it'll be higher. It feels like he took more HYDRA, which interestingly enough in HYDRA is less of a good thing nowadays. Typically that's what you wanted, was you go a ton of times and he goes a little bit, but now it's you want to go a little slower to fill up this turn count bar slower, but that's okay. I'm not at that level yet. We're going to get super close to 500 million. I would love to see if we can get that number. I don't think we can. It's going to be very close. Ninja might do it right there. Come on, Nekmo, push us over. Nekmo does it. Nekmo takes us to a 500 million key. That's what I'm talking about, Nekmo. And we'll go a little bit over just for gravy. Yeah, his damage I think will be a little bit better than HYDRA just because of the AoEs. Like, yes, AoEs are nerfed by all the different, passives from the HYDRA heads, but it's just more chances at War Master. Since they're not doing a ton of damage by themselves, I think the War Master is going to be a bulk of the damage anyways. Also, he had Brimstone, which I know is not like ideal for HYDRA, but I feel like we got several million damage from it. I don't know. So there we go. Turn count limit reach 506.98 million. Cardio 29, Firo 11, Alaz 68 million, Nekmo 133. That is with the Hex. That's a huge caveat. He did not do 133 million, but he did with the Hex 133 million. Ninja did 246, meaning about half of that Nekmo's damage is the Hexes, is what I'm saying. So Ninja should probably be closer to 400 or 350. Lady Mikage did 18, which is just not a lot. She hits on all of her abilities. She's built for damage and speed. She's got War Master. She doesn't hit hard. Neither does Firo. Cardiel, same kind of thing, but he gets so many ally attacks in that he's worth building for crit. I think Nekmo is also worth building for crit. Potentially we could test him outside of, curse set and see how much damage he does, but obviously he's like the perfect candidate in my mind. I guess you could put him in a provoke set if you have a better hexer. If you're running like a Mission Aki perhaps, then you could put him in a provoke set and let him be your provoker. I think you would also do an adequate job there. But Alaz, I would argue, is the best provoker in the game, so that's what I use him for. So we're going to go ahead and submit this key, 506 million, and solidly say that Nekmo is an upgrade over HYDRA. I remember for a long time kind of asking that question. I think there may even be like a community poll about it. That puts me in second in my clan, actually. Yeah, I'm putting a poll about it. Is he actually better than HYDRA? And HYDRA does things a little bit differently. She places increased attack, which is very big, especially for Ninja, who needs that. But we have Mikage on the same team who also already places increased attack, so that doesn't do anything. Really, the trade-off is weaken with HYDRA and decrease attack with Nekmo, but again, which is close. I think I would argue that in my case, where we don't have a reviver, the decreased attack is a little bit more important, but then the bigger thing that pushes Nekmo higher, in my opinion, is that AoE on the A1. And I feel like I'm repeating myself, so we'll cut the video off. But hope you guys enjoy the HYDRA content. I don't make a ton of it. I'm potentially going to remake the Fellhound video if you guys continue to like that. It seems like that video is doing very well, and we'll maybe gear it a little bit better, take it a little more seriously, and try and build a real team for that. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.